So today we're going to be talking about persistence and how persistence will basically help you achieve anything if you use it in the right way. And you don't just use it as a catch-all term for being consistent with doing something over time, repeatedly in multiple iterations. And you're like, yeah, persistence. No, no, no. I'm going to break it down technically and show you specifically how you can generate your awareness to bring this word into your life so you could properly utilize it and access different parts of your experience within the frame of persistence that I'm going to offer you. So, what is the frame? The frame of persistence is this, which is you're doing as you do anything in your life, any task that you want to do, anything that you're not doing. So, you're telling yourself this, which is that the more I play this level, the better I will get at playing this level and then eventually beating this level. So everybody at some point in their lives has played some video game. It could be Tetris. Everybody's played Tetris or some old video game. So you have to ask yourself, the more you play the game, do you get better at that part of the game? And the answer is yes. So what persistence does is it allows you to see patterns in the environment that then you can exploit for your benefit in beating that particular level so you can get the skill so you can beat the next level. So basically, you're looking at life in this way. So you're saying, okay, so I'm playing this level. Now, you want to be this character, right? Because you know what the character can become. It's almost like you've had glimpses of it. It's almost like you've constructed your own game and you know what you're capable of, but you know that you have to actually do things and live life in a specific way so you can become that specific version of yourself. I always talk about action, but really what it comes down to is the right actions, the specific actions, because you can do the thing over and over and over and over again and not get any different results if you continue to fail because you haven't modified your approach. You haven't made any iterations. Same with the game. If you play the level in the same way, you keep dying at the same pit, right? Or you keep dying at the same fireball that Bowser's throwing in Super Mario Brothers, then of course you're going to keep losing at that first level. But once you play it again, you're going to recognize that pattern. You're going to say, okay, so Bowser throws the fireball, then he makes the jump. So what I need to do is jump over the fireball, and then instead of running over him, then I just kind of move under him and then hit the axe so he could fall under the bridge. That's Super Mario Brothers 1, by the way. It's the same concept. There's literally no difference. The only difference and the only reason why people keep messing up is because when they go through life kind of unconsciously, right? They're making errors. They're not consciously thinking about what they're doing and how what they're doing is actually affecting them. So one of the prompts in my memos, which I talk about all the time, the three I think the ones that apply for everybody, because there are some prompts that are a little bit like religious or spiritual, the ones that apply for everyone are the three first prompts. What am I grateful for and what am I celebrating? Okay. What went well and what can be improved? And what did I learn? And that's in association with what happened yesterday, right? So think about the second question. What went well? You're recognizing yourself for what you did well, and you're basically describing, okay, so this went well, and you're asking yourself, okay, why did that go well? And what can be improved? So basically, the first there are two questions here, right? They sound like there's the same question, but they're different. So what went well and what can be improved, meaning you're recognizing the wins, but you're asking yourself what can be improved from the things that already went well. Because most people, when they win, they're like, oh yeah, it was good, like let's continue to move on and do the next thing. No, you want to be able to repeat that success because you don't know how to attribute that success. Was it to you? Was it a fluke? Was it some external source? What part of you was it? Was it something that you said or something that you did or a specific way? What exactly occurred? So, like, for example, say you had the perfect day and you're like, oh, I had the perfect day. Why? Why did you have the perfect day? Ask yourself, really figure out what did I do to make this day the way it was? It didn't just happen by accident. Things just don't occur by accident. You didn't have a whole day that was perfect for no fucking reason. So, you have to figure out what those reasons were. So you're asking yourself, what went well? So this went well. And then you're asking, okay, what can be improved? So you're saying, okay, so this went well. And as you're describing what went well, you're kind of mapping out the reasoning behind what went well. And you're asking yourself, how can I make that even better? Right. So how can I make this success even more successful? When you ask the other question is, what lessons did I learn? In fact, I can read the actual note itself. So the note itself is, what did I learn yesterday and how can I use the lesson? And this is almost always in association with failures. It doesn't have to be, but typically that's the framing, right? What did I learn yesterday? Okay, well, I messed up on this thing. So if you didn't learn in that moment, you have the opportunity again during this memo to really spell it out for yourself. So you can write these things down. You can say them to yourself. You could talk, you could record memos. You could speak to a friend, but you need to actively work your brain. The other question that I missed, by the way, which is the second one technically, is what am I looking forward to today? So you're basically having positive anticipation for the day ahead so you can live into that experience right now. So you're kind of like looking forward to things as they come. So that's what persistence is fundamentally, right? Persistence is you're undergoing a process, right? That you've determined for yourself is functional, it's operational, it works, it's good for you and many different areas of your life. It has specific outcomes associated with it. And it is required because it is the path that leads you to the end. And you don't want to keep dying at the same level on the same boss. So the persistence, what does that help you with? It helps you with, because here's the thing, is that people may have unlimited persistence, but that doesn't necessarily happen in reality, right? That's a conceptual frame where you're just persistent, nothing ever happens. You're persistent and nothing ever happens if you never change your approach. But you want to add in your ability to learn on top of that persistence, because when you do that and you factor in the persistence, then you're more likely to move ahead faster. So why is it important to be persistent? Well, the frame that you're taking, remember, like we mentioned at the beginning of the video, is that the frame of persistence is, let me generate the awareness here. And I just failed and I just did this again. So I'm going to do this again, but I have to find out what didn't go well last time, what went well, and how can I repeat what went well? Number one, right? So now you're building a building, right? What went well, and what didn't go well, and how can I improve on that? Where did I fail? So that way you're able to kind of scale a building and you're seeing the landscape and you're seeing the map and you know exactly what you need to do, and you're making modifications, and then you're making adjustments, and you're saying to yourself, okay, so I'm a little bit further this time, but I didn't quite make it. So that means that what I did, the adjustments, they worked, number one, but I messed up in this other area, which is new. So hooray for that. You progressed in some way, even though you died on the same level or whatever. So that's why persistence is important, because you can learn stuff, but if you don't try again, you're not going to get anywhere. And conversely, you can try again, but if you don't learn anything, you're going to keep making the same mistake over and over and over and over again, and you're going to wonder why you feel the way you feel. In fact, you're probably going to be feeling worse and not just the same, because you're continuing to do the same thing and getting worse results. So you're beating yourself up even more. You're kicking yourself while you're down, and you're making the entire situation worse. So make sure that when you're doing things, yes, you have that recognition, the self-love and the care that I talked about. You're also recognizing what didn't go well. Well, you're recognizing, first of all, always, where did I mess up here? How can I make that change and make that adjustment so that way I don't fall into the same trap? And number two, which is the part that a lot of people miss, is that what went well and how can I repeat that? How can I expand upon that? So reflect on why your days went amazing. Was it the sleep? Was it the nutrition? Was it a combination of both things? You're like, oh, so maybe what I should do is go to sleep at this time and then have this meal, which seemed to give me energy. And the first thing that I did was I got some sunlight, which made me more productive, which allowed this to happen. You see, so you're making all of the connections. So if you're procrastinating on something, you have to really sit in the procrastination, literally sit there, right? And you have to basically tune into your mind. So how am I thinking right now, and what am I feeling? And what am I doing, like, with my body, right? Am I like all depressed? Am I like sitting like this? Am I slouching? Am I like, I don't know? How am I speaking to myself? Am I kind of slouching and speaking negatively about myself and feeling terrible? Those are three things that you need to change right there, right? So maybe the first thing that you need to do, depends. You can address any one of those three things first, but all of those three things typically need to be addressed in order for you to have a sustainable long-term change. So maybe as an example, You're procrastinating on something, you keep failing, trying and failing, or you just don't do it. You get up, you do 10 push-ups, 10 jumping jacks, 10 squats, 10 sit-ups, right? You do that as a circuit, maybe 3 times. Right? You got your breath going, got your adrenaline pumping, you got your muscles flowing. You're like, okay, so let me sit down and let me think about this. So the way that I'm thinking about it is clearly not helpful, because the more I beat myself up and the more judgmental I am, the more I stay where I am. So I'm just generating that inertia. So the fact that I'm not moving has, as one of its contributing forces, at least, the way that I speak to myself. So if you're speaking to yourself always in the same way when you're procrastinating, news for you, it may be because of the reason, because of the way that you're speaking to yourself, that you're not doing things. You're not doing that specific thing. So don't speak to yourself negatively and judgmentally. You have to change the dialogue that you're having, to change the conversation that you're having with yourself. And I've spoken about this before. And if you have a question, ask another one, a more specific one, and I can dive into it. And the third thing is, like, how are you feeling? So you have to tune into yourself. How are you feeling? Do you need to process something for a moment? Maybe you just need to process your emotion. Maybe it's something that you're doing that's leading you to feel that particular emotion, the way that you're thinking, the way that you're using your body, because oftentimes that is the case. Now, what happens over time is that we condition ourselves to think and act in a specific way, and then we're just kind of entrained to emote, to feel emotions without even doing that behavior. So, you hear a lot of this, oh, well, if you're depressed, it's probably because the way that you're thinking, the way that you're using your body. That's true. It's often the case, though, that it's you're standing up straight, you're walking straight, whatever, you're confident, and you're having, a great conversation, but there's still like a little low hum there. So you have to ask yourself, well, if I continually repeat that loop, then what I have to do is do more of the things that is taking me out of that thing for a brief moment. So you're trying to break the pattern, but in order for you to break the pattern, you're going to have to do it repeatedly, hence the persistence, right? Hence you playing the level again until you beat it. So this video is clearly not about depression. I don't want to make this about depression, but the point is that is the key, right? Is the actions that you're taking and making sure that they are the right actions and you're thinking in the right way so you can make the right adjustments. So hope that video was helpful to kick off your, well, I guess, whatever day it is for you. But I'll leave it there. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like it, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. I made a mistake last time. The Zoom call is not going to be on the 3rd of July. It's going to be on the 26th of June. Jesus. So that's next week. So that's literally in 3 days. So in 3 days at 12 p.m. Eastern, the link is in my description. So make sure that if you want to do a group call to find out specifically what kind of like personalized support I can give you, it's free, obviously, then join. Right? Like I said, it could be 10 people, could be 5, could be none. I don't know. But we're doing this as a test to kind of like see if it works. And like I said, I'm rolling out that school community. So stay tuned for that. And that's it for me for now. If you enjoyed the video, like it, subscribe to the channel. It always helps. And until then, I'll see you next time.